نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الذي ليس في جوفه شيء من القرآن كالبيت الخرب. رواه الترمذي. Hazrat Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma has narrated the saying of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he in whose heart there is no portion of the Quran is like a deserted house. Hazrat Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma narrates, or has narrated, the saying of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he in whose heart there is no portion of the Quran is like a deserted house. The allusion to a deserted house has a subtle meaning, which is expressed by the proverb that an idle man's brain is the devil's workshop. So shaitan gets hold of an empty house. Similarly, a heart devoid of Quran gets more and more possessed by shaitan. What an emphasis is there in this hadith for memorizing the glorious Quran, that the heart which has not secured it has been likened to a deserted house. Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu says, in the house where the Quran is read, the household members increase, virtues and blessings multiply, angels descend upon them, and shaitan quits the house. Whereas the house in which the Quran is not recited, life therein becomes straitened and devoid of blessings, angels leave the house, and shayateen rush in and occupy it. Hazrat ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu and some others have reported Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam to have said that a deserted house is one in which the glorious Quran is not recited. عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال قراءة القرآن في الصلاة أفضل من قراءة القرآن في غير الصلاة وقراءة القرآن في غير الصلاة أفضل من التسبيح والتكبير والتسبيح أفضل من الصدقة والصدقة أفضل من الصوم والصوم جنة من النار. رواه البيهقي. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha says that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, recitation of the Quran in Salat is more rewarding than the recitation outside Salat. Recitation outside Salat is preferable to tasbih and takbir, repeating words of praise for Allah. Tasbih is superior to sadaqah, sadaqah to sawm, and sawm is protection against the fire. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha says that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, recitation of the Quran in Salat is more rewarding than the recitation outside Salat. Recitation outside Salat is preferable to tasbih and takbir. Tasbih is superior to sadaqah, charity, sadaqah to sawm, fasting, and sawm, fasting is protection against fire. The superiority of recitation of the Quran over dhikr is evident because Quran is the word of Allah. As mentioned earlier, the superiority of the word of Allah over the speech of others is like His superiority over His creation. The superiority of dhikr over sadaqah has been stressed in other ahadith as well. But the superiority of sadaqah over sawm, as given in this hadith, seems contrary to that given in some other ahadith, where sawm is said to be better than sadaqah. This difference is due to the variations in the type of people and their conditions of life. For some, sawm is more virtuous. According to this hadith, sawm comes last in the order of merit. When sawm is protection against the fire of hell, we can well imagine the numerous blessings of the recitation of Quran, which is first in the order of merit. The author of Ihya reports on the authority of Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu that for every letter recited, there are 100 blessings for one who reads the Quran while standing in Salah, 50 blessings for one who reads while sitting in Salah, 25 blessings for one who reads in the state of wudu, outside Salah, 10 blessings for the one who recites without wudu, and 1 blessing for him who does not read himself, but listens eagerly to the reader. For him too there is 1 reward for every letter. Samajh gaye Khadija. Even standing in namaz, in salat, and listening to the Quran you get a lot of reward. How many rewards do you get? 100. Gee. In, when you're in Salat, then the reward is that. So, you shouldn't get too worried about standing in long namazes. Gee. In Ramadan, if we happen to be reading here whatever the lockdown restrictions are, then we should read happily whatever we're reading in Quran if it's a bit long. But Allah will give us how many rewards for every letter? 100. G 100. Of course, then there's multiply on top of that. But what was it? Coronavirus when it was Ramadan in Canada? Yes, it was coronavirus when it was Ramadan last year. G. 100 for the one who reads in standing in Salat, 50 for the one who reads sitting in Salat, 25 for the one who reads with wudu, 10 for the one who reads without wudu, and one reward for someone who listens to someone else who's reading Quran. But like, I don't know like what you mean, like reading while you're doing wudu. Reading while you have wudu, not while you're doing wudu. Oh. Toilet में कुरान पढ़ते हैं? No. Yeah, we don't read Quran while in the toilet. So if you have wudu and you read, then you get 25 rewards. Now say that you just woke up and you don't have wudu and you're feeling lazy and you say, "Oh, I don't want to do wudu, I'm feeling lazy." And then you read your Surah Yasin just like that, then you get 10 rewards for every letter. But if you wake up and you say, you know what, I will do wudu. So then you do wudu and then you read your Surah Yasin, then you get how many rewards for every letter? 25. 25. So, shouldn't be lazy. You get more rewards, inshallah. Ji. So like if I do it and I do my sabak, then I will get how many rewards again? If you do wudu and you read your sabak, you read your Quran, then you will get 25 rewards for every letter. That's what I was going to say. हाँ जी, बहुत अच्छी बात है. अच्छा 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 अब थोड़ा सा ज्यादा एक्साइटेड हो रही है बेबी टाइगर के साथ. This is Khadija's baby tiger. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have. I should have made her wear her baby hijab first. Oh, okay. Acha. Now we will just finish off this commentary which we were reading yesterday about this when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam climbed up the mimbar and he said Amin 3 times. So we covered 2 of the things. Now the last one. The third is that a person in whose presence one or both of his parents reach old age and yet is unable to gain Jannah through failure to serve them. This has been explained in many ahadith. The ulama has stated that in every permissible act, it is compulsory to obey one's parents. The ulama have stated that in every permissible act, it is obligatory, it is compulsory to obey one's parents. So of course, if they're telling you to do something which is not permissible, then you don't have to listen to them. But so long as what they are telling you to do is permissible, then a person must obey them. What does permissible mean? Something which is not haram. Like if I tell you to go and to put out the garbage, then it's permissible, right? What? So you must go and put out the garbage. Acha. So, and one should not be disrespectful to them. but be humble even though they be non-believers. So even if they happen to be non-Muslims, one should be respectful to them. This was there was one incident with the mother of Asma radiallahu anha. So her mother and Aisha radiallahu anha's mother were different. Their father was both Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, but their mothers were different. Asma radiallahu anha's mother was not a Muslim. So she came seeking some financial aid. And Asma radiallahu anha knew that very well, that she's not come to be buddy or whatever. He knew that she's coming just because she needs some financial assistance. So she asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that, what should I do? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told her to be good with her and to help her out. So one should be respectful to them, even if they should be humble, and respectful to them, even if they are non-believers. Neither should one raise his voice above theirs, nor address parents by their first names. They should be given the preference to do anything before and ahead of you. Eating, walking, sitting, especially the drumstick. Like the drumstick. When they have to be called towards good and prohibited from evil, it should be done with softness. If they refuse to accept, they should still be honored and respected. And du'as for their guidance should be made. In one hadith, it is related, the best of doors entering Jannah is the father. If you wish, look after this, and if you wish, destroy it. A Sahabi inquired from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what are the rights that are due to parents? The reply was, they are your Jannah and Jahannam. Their happiness is Jannah, and their displeasure is Jahannam. Further, it is stated in the hadith that when an obedient son looks with love and devotion at his parents, the reward for that gaze shall be the same as for a maqbool hajj. In another hadith, it is stated, apart from associating partners with Allah, Allah forgives all as He pleases. However, He inflicts the punishment for disobedience to parents in this very world before death. A Sahabi said, O Rasulullah, I want to go for jihad. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, is your mother alive? He replied, yes. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then said, serve her. Jannah lies beneath her feet for you. एक minute. It is mentioned in a hadith, the pleasure of Allah lies in pleasing one's father, and Allah's displeasure lies in displeasing one's father. In numerous other hadith, the importance and virtue of this has been discussed. From the above, it should not be deduced that where parents had not been properly treated and respected and have passed away, there is no other way out except Jahannam for the children. In Sharia, there is a way out. The hadith teaches us that in such cases, one should make dua and istighfar for them. They should make dua and they should seek forgiveness for them. And by doing so, one will be counted among those who are obedient. Another hadith states that the best one can do after one's father's demise is to treat his friends and companions in the best possible manner. So we should be very mindful of dealing properly with our parents. If they tell us to do anything, see, we have to understand the priorities and who's how things go in Deen, so that we could understand what we have to do, what we don't have to do, and then everything falls into place. So we cannot listen to anyone when they tell us to disobey Allah. We cannot do that. Whether it's our parents, whether it's our Amir, whether it's the Khalifa of the times, Amirul Mu'mineen, we cannot listen to anyone when they tell us to disobey Allah. If they tell us to leave a sunnah or to leave a nafil, then there's scope for that. If they tell us, there was one kid when Omar Multani was back in Dar es Salaam, and the new iPhone was coming out. So his father said that, I want to send him to wait in line. So go line up at Fairview at like 4 a.m, so that to get the new iPhone. So then I told him that, What's the problem with it? Getting iPhone is okay, and it's your father. So I mean, getting iPhone is not haram either. So if he wants you to do that for him, get up, wake up at 4 a.m. one day of the year and wait in line for him. And it's not like you're paying for the phone yourself. You're going to use his card or whatever, but wait in line for him and get him the phone. It's not it's not a particularly great thing to get an iPhone, but it's not haram. And if it's going to make the father happy, then this is not undue hardship. It's undue hardship for one day, which is we go through undue hardship for all sorts of silly things many times a day, many times, no, not many times a day, but many times in a year. So if one time a person has this opportunity to take care of his parents, then why not? So I told him that go and do it. Wait in line for your dad. What's the problem? You should do it. Like this, inshallah, you'll get rewards for serving your parents. Allah give us tawfiq to understand, practice upon this, especially reading the Quran, learning the Quran, reading the Quran. Taraweeh is coming up. Ji Khadija. Taraweeh kya hai? It's that long namaz we read in Ramadan. Acha, that's good. Acha, ji. Jihad. Didn't you ask this question already? No. Then who asked it? Oh, Yusuf. Oh, yeah, right. Acha, Yusuf Bhai will tell you after we finish the Taleem. ठीक है? Astaghfirullah, he forgot what it is. Oh, yeah, like... Acha, jihad means to struggle, to make an effort for deen, to establish deen. Acha? So that all the people become Muslims, and that all the people, they start becoming good Muslims, and they do everything which Allah wants. To make that effort is called jihad. Like because when I see a hurt on you, does Allah Ta'ala tell me to put cream on it? Acha, when Khadija sees a hurt on me and then she puts cream on my scratch or something, then does Allah Ta'ala tell her to do it? Well, you get reward if you do it. Yeah, Allah Ta'ala tells you to be good to your parents. So if you be good to your parents, then inshallah Allah will give you reward. Yeah, and I served you food once. And Khadija served me not just once, Khadija. You keep on making all sorts of surprises for me and for Dadi. Yaad hai? And the fish that you cook for us. अच्छा ठीक है अच्छा All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Subhanallah bihamdi. Subhanakallah wa bihamdi. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati